on the night of November 21st of last year? Where were you?
On the porch.
What were you doing on the porch?
Nothing.
Now tell us what happened. You can do it.
Now tell us what happened. You can do that, can't you? That's enough now. Don't be scared of anyone here. What are you scared of?
Well, I just,
What was that?
him.
Tate? Mr. Finch?
I don't want him doing me like Daddy, making me out to be left-handed.
How old are you?
19 and a half.
Mr. Finch has no intention of scaring you. And if he did, I'm here to stop you. Now please continue.
Well... Well, I was sitting on the front porch, then he came along. Hey you, come over here and bust up this shift rope for me. I got a shiny nickel for you.
Okay.
Let me go get that nickel.
Then what happened?
I don't remember too good. Next thing I know, my daddy's over me asking, who did it? Who did it? Then I fainted. The next thing I knew, Mr. Tate was pulling me off the floor.
You say you fought back as hard as you could?
I positively did.
You were positive you were took full advantage of.
He done what he was after.
That's all for the time being. But you stay there. I expect Mr. Finch will have some questions for you.
The defense will not prejudice the witness at this time.
Mayella, do you love your father?
Love him? What you mean?
Is it good to you?
Yeah, except when
Except when
nothing.
Except when he's drinking. Does he ever go after you?
No, he hasn't.
Was Tom Robinson well known to you?
I know who he was.
Did you ever ask Tom to come inside the fence?
I did not.
You said Tom Robinson was behind you in the room. Is that right?
Yeah, he got me around the neck.
Do you remember him beating you about the face? You seem sure he choked you.
Yeah, he hit me.
He choked you. He hit you. Then he raped you. Is that right?
It most certainly is.
What did your father see in the window? The crime of rape or the best defense to it?
All I got to say is that nigga yonder raped me.
The state rests.
Any more witnesses? Atticus?
Yes. Tom is 25. He's married with 3 children. Tom, were you acquainted with Mayella Violet Ewell?
Yes, sir. I had to pass her place to and from the field every day.
Whose field?
I picked for Mr. Linkdees.
You say you had to pass the Ewell place to get to and from your work. Is there any other way to go?
No, sir. Not that I know of.
Tom, did she ever speak to you?
Yes, sir. I tip my hat when I go by. And one day she asked me to come inside the fence and bust the chipper rope board.
When did she ask you to chop up the chipper rope?
Mr. Finch, it was last spring. I said I didn't have nothing but a hoe with me. She said she had a hatchet. She gave me the hatchet and I broke up the chipper rope. She said, I reckon I'll have to give you a nickel. And I said, no ma'am, there ain't no charge. And then I went home, Mr. Finch. That was last spring.
Did you ever go back to her place again?
Yes, sir.
When?
Well, there was lots of times.
Under what circumstances?
Lisa?
Why did you go inside the fence?
She called me in, sir. Soon as every time I passed yonder, she said something little for me to do.
Were you paid for your services?
No, sir. Not after she offered me the first time. I was glad to do it. Mr. Yule didn't seem to help her none, and neither did the children. I know she didn't have no nickels to spare.
Where were the other children?
They were always around, all over the place. They'd watch me work, some even sat in the window.
Would Miss Mayella talk to you?
Yes, sir, she would.
Did you ever, at any time, go on the Yule property? Did you ever set foot on the Yule property without express invitation?
No, sir, Mr. Finch, I never did. I wouldn't do that, sir.
Tom, what happened on the night of November 21st?
Mr. Finch, I was going home as usual that evening.
Ba-da-ba, 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 ba-da-ba.
Well, howdy, Miss Mel.
Hey, can you come up here for a second? This door needs fixing.
I sure can. Hey, Miss Amanda, why is it so quiet? Where are all the children?
I sent them away for the day.
That's mighty nice of you.
You think so?
I sure do. Hey, Miss Mayella, this door don't need fixing.
Oh, that's okay. I got something else for you to do anyway. Just reach on top of that shift rope and grab that box down.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Mayella, what are you doing?
Mayella, what are you doing? I'm gonna kill you!
Mr. Finch, I was running so fast I didn't even know what happened next.
Tom, did you rape Mayella Yule?
I did not, sir.
Did you harm her in any way?
I did not, sir.
Did you resist her advances?
Mr. Finch, I didn't try to be ugly. I didn't want to be ugly. I didn't want to push her or nothing.
But then you ran.
I sure did, sir.
Mr. Gilmore, any more questions?
Yes. Robinson, you are pretty good at busting up chifferobe and kindling with one hand, aren't you?
Yes, sir, I reckon so.
Strong enough to choke the living breath out of a young woman and sling her to the floor.
I never done that, sir.
But strong enough to.
Reckon so. I reckon so.
Had your eye on her for a long time, didn't you, boy?
I never looked at her, sir.
Mighty nice busting up chipperobe for her.
Just trying to help out, sir.
Why were you so anxious to do that work for the woman's chores?
Try to help her, I says.
You're a mighty good fellow, it seems.
I felt right sorry for her.
You felt sorry for her? You went by the house as usual last November, and she asked you to bust up the chifferobe.
No, sir. She said she had something for me to do inside the house.
Didn't Mr. Yule run you off the place?
No, sir. I don't think he did. I didn't stay long enough for him to run me off.
Are you being impudent, boy?
No.
The state rests.
Guilty. 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 The defendant is guilty of all charges.